Have you ever observed that man who enters a room and automatically everyone pays attention to him? It is not the luxury watch on his wrist. It is not the designer suit. It is something deeper, more subtle. That aura of true elegance that cannot be purchased in any store. While most men spend fortunes trying to appear sophisticated, the truly elegant follow silent rules that few know. What you will discover today will completely change how people see you, because there exists an extremely fine line between being a genuinely Class A man and merely pretending elegance. And the people around you perceive this difference in seconds, even if they cannot explain exactly why. Last week, I had the opportunity to dine at a restaurant with 3 Michelin stars. At the table next to me, a group of executives flaunted expensive watches and impeccable suits. They spoke loudly about their achievements, constantly interrupted the waiter, and treated the experience as a status competition. In the opposite corner, a gentleman of approximately 60 years dined alone. Discreet clothing, but perfectly fitted. His behavior was so refined that he ended up receiving special attention from the entire restaurant staff, without ever having asked for it. The difference? Authentic elegance versus empty ostentation. When I researched the habits of truly sophisticated people, I discovered there are 7 silent attitudes that separate the genuinely elegant from mere imitators. And today, you will learn each one of them. 1. They master the art of discretion in all situations. True elegance never shouts. The class. A man understands that showing off is the opposite of sophistication. While the false elegant needs everyone to notice his $50,000 watch, the genuinely refined man prefers subtle details that only connoisseurs will appreciate. True gentlemen know that the louder you talk about your achievements, the less impressive they seem. Therefore, they master the art of speaking softly, smiling discreetly, and letting their actions communicate their value. The false elegant enters a luxury store and demands attention. The truly elegant receives the same attention without ever having requested it, and that makes all the difference in how people respond to you. What do you prefer? To be the man who constantly needs to prove his worth, or the one whose silent presence commands immediate respect? 2. They treat all people with the same level of respect. One of the clearest signs of genuine refinement is how a man treats those who can do nothing for him. The true gentleman demonstrates the same respect to the CEO and the building doorman. I observed something fascinating at a gala event last year. A businessman known for his fortune spent the entire night completely ignoring the waiters, treating them as if they were invisible. In contrast, an elderly diplomat with decades of international experience briefly conversed with each person who served him, thanked them, looking into their eyes, and memorized their names after the first interaction. Who do you think made the better impression on the other guests? Money cannot buy class, and treating well only those who are above you on the social scale immediately reveals who merely pretends refinement. Authentic elegance lies in consistency. It is treating the ride-share driver with the same courtesy you would treat a head of state. It is knowing that true power lies in making everyone around you feel valued, regardless of their social position. A study published in the Harvard Business Review revealed that leaders who demonstrate genuine respect for all hierarchical levels have teams with 26% higher productivity. Elegance is not just a matter of aesthetics, it is a powerful tool of influence. What impression do you leave on people who do not matter for your immediate success? 3. They master the art of active listening and never interrupt. There exists an abyssal difference between listening and waiting for your turn to speak. The falsely elegant man is always eager to redirect the conversation to himself. He listens just enough to find a cue to talk about his own experiences, achievements, or opinions. The truly sophisticated man knows that strategic silence is a demonstration of power. He listens with genuine interest, asks relevant questions, and never ever interrupts the speaker. In a recent meeting with investors, I witnessed something revealing. Two entrepreneurs were competing for million-dollar funding. The first spoke incessantly, interrupting the potential investors several times to clarify points. The second barely spoke during the first half of the meeting. He just listened attentively, took detailed notes, and when he finally spoke, he addressed exactly the concerns that had been expressed. It is unnecessary to say who secured the investment. The ability to listen with patience and depth is an increasingly rare skill in our society of instant gratification. For this very reason, it is immediately recognized and valued. Let us be honest. How many times have you caught yourself formulating your response before the other person has finished speaking? This is the trademark of someone who merely pretends sophistication. The next time you're in an important conversation, try this experiment. Listen as if your life depended on it. You will see that people will feel magnetically attracted to you without even understanding exactly why. True power is not about dominating the conversation, but dominating it without appearing to be trying. 4. They know how to refuse with elegance. Without ever humiliating, no is one of the most powerful words in a refined man vocabulary. However, there exists a colossal difference between refusing something with class and doing so in a rude or arrogant manner. The false, elegant refuses, offers invitations or suggestions abruptly or condescendingly. He makes a point of making it clear that he is above that. The genuinely sophisticated man, on the other hand, understands that refusing with delicacy is a form of respect both for the other and for himself. I witnessed a perfect example of this during a business dinner. An executive was offered a wine that clearly was not to his liking. Instead of making a scene or criticizing the choice, he simply said, "I appreciate the kindness, but today I will opt only for water. I am preparing for an important meeting early tomorrow." He refused without embarrassing anyone and maintained his preference. In contrast, I have seen men refusing offers with phrases like, "I would never drink something of this level," or "I prefer more refined things." Clear signs of insecurity masked as sophistication. The way you say no reveals much about your character and your true level of elegance. Class A men understand that they can maintain their high standards without diminishing others in the process. This applies to everything from refusing an invitation to an event to ending a relationship. Elegance lies in leaving the other person with their dignity intact, even when you need to establish a clear boundary. How have you been saying no lately? Do your refusals elevate or diminish others? 5. They never display knowledge to impress, only to add value. One of the most evident marks of someone who merely pretends elegance is the constant need to demonstrate knowledge on any subject that arises. The false, sophisticated cannot resist the temptation to correct someone or display information that supposedly proves his superior intelligence. The truly Class A man is selective about when to share what he knows. He understands that the true purpose of knowledge is to add value to the conversation, not to inflate his own ego. During a wine event, I observed two contrasting behaviors. One guest constantly interrupted the sommelier to show his knowledge about vintages and wine regions, clearly eager to impress others. Another guest, a respected collector, remained silent during almost the entire presentation. When he finally spoke, it was to ask a genuinely curious question that benefited everyone present. The first wanted to appear intelligent. The second was interested in learning and sharing. True intellectual elegance lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. It lies in understanding that not all information needs to be shared just because you possess it. Warren Buffett, one of the richest and most respected men in the world, is known for his simplicity in explaining complex financial concepts. He could easily impress with technical jargon, but chooses to be clear and accessible. This is no accident. It is the mark of someone genuinely secure in his knowledge. Ask yourself, do you share knowledge to really help others, or just to appear smarter? 6. They promptly take responsibility for mistakes without excessive apologies. Nothing reveals more about a man's character than how he handles his own mistakes. The false elegant will do everything to avoid taking responsibility. He will blame circumstances, other people, or simply deny the error completely. When finally forced to admit a fault, he will flood the situation with endless apologies and explanations. The genuinely Class A man has a completely different relationship with his errors. He acknowledges them promptly, offers a correction or compensation when appropriate, and then, this is crucial, moves forward. In a corporate meeting, I saw a senior executive make a significant mistake in a financial presentation. Without hesitation, he stated, "The numbers I presented are incorrect. The responsibility is entirely mine. I will have the correct data for everyone by the end of the day, and I will implement an additional verification process to ensure this does not happen again." There was no drama, no excessive apologies, just clear responsibility followed by corrective action. This attitude conveys an unwavering confidence that no luxury watch or expensive suit could ever buy. It demonstrates that his identity and value are not tied to perfection, but to integrity. True elegance is not about never making mistakes. It is about the graciousness with which you face your errors. Genuinely sophisticated men understand that taking responsibility does not diminish them. On the contrary, it elevates their status in the eyes of others. How did you react to your last significant mistake? Was it with defensiveness or with gracious responsibility? 7. They practice specific and meaningful gratitude. Gratitude is a trademark of true class. However, there exists an astronomical difference between the automatic and mechanical thanks of the false elegant and the genuine and specific gratitude of the truly sophisticated man. The man who merely pretends refinement will say, "Thank you," as an empty formality. The Class A man transforms gratitude into an art, making it specific, personalized, and memorable. When a colleague introduced me to an important contact, I received 2 types of thanks. The first simply said, "Thank you very much for the contact, it was very useful." And the second sent me a message saying, "Daniel, I want to thank you for connecting me with Ricardo." Our conversation about international investment strategies lasted 2 hours and opened 3 new business possibilities. Your perception of professional compatibility is truly remarkable. Which of these people do you think received more references from me in the future? Specific gratitude demonstrates that you truly value what you received. It shows that you paid attention to details, that you recognize the effort of others, and that you do not take anything for granted. This attitude extends to all areas of life, from thanking a waiter by specifically mentioning what made the service exceptional, to recognizing the work of a team member by highlighting exactly how their contribution made a difference. The ability to express meaningful gratitude is not just a matter of good manners. It is a powerful tool of human connection that opens invisible doors for those who master it. How have you expressed gratitude recently? Was it a mere thank you or an acknowledgement that the person will remember for weeks? Now that you know these 7 silent attitudes, start observing them around you. You will quickly see who merely flaunts external symbols of status and who possesses the true elegance that transcends any material item. If you desire more content about how to develop a truly sophisticated presence that opens doors without you needing to knock, Subscribe now to the channel and activate the notification bell. Each week, I share exclusive strategies to transform elegance into real power. Leave your like if this video brought valuable insights to you, and in the comments, share which of these attitudes you believe is the most important with the phrase, "Elegance is silent power." Remember, fashion passes, style remains, but true elegance, that is power in its purest form.